So I was an early adopter of Facebook. I liked finding out what my friends were doing, and I didn't so much mind their pictures of food that I could not smell nor taste. And I really liked finding out who was having a birthday. Like today, I found out Sarah Lammert is having a birthday. But lately, I've been thinking that Facebook and all of social media may have been inspired by Satan. And I don't even believe in Satan. We may have the technology for social media, but from what I have observed, we have not sociologically, emotionally, and psychologically evolved enough to use technology well. Perhaps one day we will, but today we use social media as a weapon as often as we use it as a tool. So I have become the queen of scrolling because there are just days when I am only looking for cute little cat videos. And I don't really want to know about the world, the nation, or the latest upheaval within Unitarian Universalism. Just make me laugh, because I'm tired of crying. A while ago, I came across a post that made me laugh out loud. It was entitled, "Badly Describe Your Profession." And some of my esteemed colleagues, who apparently also needed a good laugh, posted some fine responses. Here are a few of them. Their names will not be used so as to protect the guilty. Once a week, I talk about stuff I'm interested in And I get mad if everybody doesn't come to listen. The rest of the time, I worry about money. I patrol the parking lot, making sure no one is parked in the spot reserved for the minister. I get paid to keep my head in the clouds and make changes at an incredibly slow pace. I also remove melted wax from many surfaces. My salary is decent, but I also receive compensation in the form of cookies, endless newspaper clippings, and homemade jars of jam. I talk for an hour a week, butt into other people's personal lives, and go to meetings about creating more meetings. On Sunday, I tell people they can make the world a better place. When things don't improve that week, I repeat myself. There is some truth in each of these responses. But I think the greatest truth is the last one. We tell people they can make the world a better place, and we repeat ourselves, and we'll keep repeating ourselves over and over and over again. Because if we didn't believe we could make the world a better place, I suspect most clergy, religious educators, musicians, administrators, membership coordinators, any religious professional would give up this endeavor called Unitarian Universalist ministry. We repeat ourselves week after week, and we hope, we pray that someone is actually listening, that someone will actually be impacted by our words, that we are actually making a difference. I think that every person who answers their life's calling does so with the intent of making a difference. It's not just ministers who listen to what their lives are calling them to do. We ministers may act like we're the only one who received the call, but it isn't true. Many people hear a call in their hearts and minds and souls. All of us can. And when we answer the call, we make a vow that we shall follow it through to the end. We may make that vow to the Lord, to God, to the goddess, to the universe, to humanity, to whatever it was that put that call on our hearts. We make a vow to make a difference and follow it through to the end. Every year, one of the most moving parts of this service for me is when we call out the names of those dear colleagues who followed their vows to the very end. I usually don't know most of their names. The longer I am in ministry, the more names I know, but still most of the names are unknown to me. I know this. I know that one day my name will be called, a long time from now, inshallah. and there will be people who will not know my name, and that will be fine. It will mean that I lived a good, long life and actually got to retire. So new people entering ministry won't know me and won't know my name. This calling, any calling, isn't about making a name. It's about making a difference. When you begin an endeavor, follow any course your life calls you to follow, you need to ask yourself this: do I want to make a name or do I want to make a difference? Most of the people whose names we did not know spent their lives toiling in the proverbial vineyard, just trying to make a difference, one life at a time. There may have been times when they were the right person, at the right time, in the right place, and in that moment they made a big difference. But I bet none of them started with the intent of making a name for themselves. You may make a name if you make a big enough difference, but if your objective is to make a name for yourself and you happen to make a difference, it probably won't be a positive one. Because the difference you made was all about you and your ego. When one is out to make a name for themselves, they are not interested in anything other than themselves. Oh, they may say they're trying to change the world. They may say they are just trying to speak the truth, but they are really just trying to make a name for themselves. And how can you tell these name makers? How can you tell if you are trying to make a name or a difference? Well, you could just ask yourself one question: do I care if I get credit for something, or do I care that something gets done? Name makers do not care whether they are making an impact on the world. They only care that you spell their name right. They say they are change makers, and they may be, but they do not care whether the changes they make are going to have a positive impact. I once heard the great Bill Jones, the Unitarian Universalist humanist scholar, say that we often speak of change, but if you took your car to the mechanic and you needed a new battery because your car wouldn't start, and the mechanic changes the rear passenger tire, the car has been changed. But there wasn't a positive impact on the car because it still won't start. So one has to ask the question, do I want to make a change or do I want to have an impact? Because I can change an institution and still not have an impact on the lives of the people in that institution. I could change the bylaws, I can pass resolutions, I can restructure the institution, I can change the leadership of the institution, I can do all of these changes and still not have an impact on the lives of the people the institution is purportedly serving. Change, contrary to popular belief, is actually easy. Having an impact, that's hard. Our Unitarian Universalist movement has had impacts on many issues: same-sex marriage, women's rights. On many, many issues, we are 30 years ahead of other faith communities. But on some issues, like race and class, we are 30 years behind. We keep making changes, but we have had little or no impact. We changed the name of programs, we changed the language we're going to use, we changed leadership, and our impact has still been limited. And we keep thinking of ways to change and spend little time thinking about ways to have a lasting impact. Because to have a lasting impact is to first understand that transformation takes time. We can quickly make changes, but lasting impacts have to take time to take hold. In our rush to change things, we sometimes need to stop and hold back and ask, are we trying to make a change? Or are we going to try to make an impact? It's not always clear which one we want. But at least we should stop and ask the question, because that alone could help us focus our efforts. To make an impact, we have to meet people where they are now. We cannot expect people to already be who we want them to be. If they were those people already, we would have no work to do. So we must meet them where they are in order to bring them where they need to be. And to do that, we must speak in ways that can be heard. It does no good to speak if you cannot be heard. And how one speaks often determines if one will be heard. Are you speaking at people for the sake of speaking what you believe is the truth, or are you speaking with people to share the truth you believe? Do you want to speak, or do you want to be heard? Now, there will be times when you will say your truth and it's only your truth, knowing that the people you are speaking to cannot actually hear what you are saying. If that's the case, then no, you were not trying to really have an impact or make a difference. You were speaking because you felt you had to. And certainly there is a place for speaking when no one is listening. I hope this isn't one of them. But they are few and far between. When we are speaking only to ourselves, when we are standing on our soapboxes, proclaiming truth like prophets of old, we should go back to our very first question and ask again, am I trying to make a name, or am I trying to make a difference? The times we live in right now are ripe with potential for great transformational seeds to be planted. We may not see all of them blossom into the radically inclusive, compassionately welcoming, justice-demanding faith and world we dream of. We may not live long enough to reap the benefits of the work we do together, and there will be times when the work of creating the world we call beloved community will seem too hard, and we will just want to give up in despair. Times when we tire of preaching that same sermon week after week, make the world a better place. When we wonder if anyone notices the work we are doing, as flawed and as imperfect as it is. Days when if we see one more tweet, one more post, one more headline will just scream. When we come to that place, we need to remember the colleagues whose names we heard tonight, who just kept climbing one mountain after another, speaking not just to speak, but to be heard, not concerned with change, but with having an impact, not caring to make a name, but to make a difference. Remember them, and then go out and climb your own mountain. Speak your own truth, make your own impact, make your difference, because this is what we are all called to do. Not just those on this stage, but each of us who calls ourselves Unitarian Universalists. We are bound together by an abiding faith in the power of humanity to transform the world. We are bound together by the belief that with these proverbial hands, we can build a future for ourselves and those not born yet that is better than the world we inherited. We are bound together by the knowledge that together, each of us, unique and valued for our differences, can make the dream of a world of peace and justice a reality. And when that day comes and someone calls out our names in remembrance, let it be said of us, "You may not know our names, but know this of us, we made a difference." Amen. Blessed be. Ashe. I love you.
Please rise in ways that you are able and join me in singing this old song. I've got a new name over in Zion. I've got a new name over in Zion.
covenantal faith requires all of us to make vows. Vows to this faith, to each other, to humanity, to the God of our understanding. As we go forth from this place, may we always remember the vows we have made, vows to use our hearts with compassion, to use our minds to be bold in our vision, to use our bodies to create the world we dream of. Let us strive to make a difference in this world, one person at a time, one moment at a time. Go in peace. Make the world better. Then do it again.